Hey, welcome back to the channel. I am really glad you're here because today I'm going to finally cut in to one of these IBC totes and use it for firewood. Now that I have a pile of firewood, and unfortunately I had to buy firewood because it's our first year here. I've been cutting some trees, but it's just too damp. It's not going to dry in time or season for this year. So we'll have to buy firewood this year, maybe find some more around the property, but for the most part, we'll be burning the load that I just bought. So I had them dump it on the concrete pad, but now I need to do something with it. So this is a perfect opportunity to cut into this IBC tote and start using it for firewood like the rest of the world. All right, let's take these top rails off to get the bladder out. T40 Torx bit. Oops. It's a spinner. So what I'm going to do is cut off a portion of the top rail, a portion of the second rail down to here, and then cut these 4 verticals in the middle, and that'll give me an area that I can reach in and grab the firewood. I noticed that the side where the valve is on the tote is a wider opening. So I'm wondering if I can use one of these top cross pieces to put in place there. There's a bolt right there at the bottom. So I'm going to see if I can take it out and put this in. Could we be so lucky? Okay, this piece is threaded from being used on the top. So what I really should do is drill that out, and then maybe that'll fit right in there. And I saved the bolt from the top piece, which is longer, so that may work just great. Now, could I get all fancy and weld this into place? Yes, I could, but I think some good old galvanized electric fence wire will hold it in place just fine. Can always weld it up later if I decide to. Let's see. That'll hold it. Hey, I like that. So tell me this. Do you stack it or do you just chuck it? This thing is about 36 inches wide, which means I can fit 2 rows very nicely going across if I stack it neatly. I happen to have some firewood here that I cut. I think I'd like to stack it. That is nice, and that's going to hold quite a bit. I happen to have a pile on the front porch of the wind-fallen tree that I cut up thinking it might be dry enough, but it wasn't. I'm going to have to take that and just set it aside for next year. So I'm going to add this to the pile too, and then I've seen where people take the bladder, cut it on an angle, and put it on top and make a roof over it. So I want to try that too. Well, I just learned something. I loaded up this wood from the side of the barn and from what was on the porch. And I'm going to add this wood as well, but already I'm seeing that I don't think the Kubota B2601 is going to handle this tote full of wood. I couldn't pick it up off the porch. I had to curl it back to get it up off the porch. So we're about maxed out for the weight here. I'm going to keep going though, just to see what I can do and what it can hold. But this is the smaller of the totes, so I'm glad I went with this one, not the bigger one. Not that I, have to fill them all the way up anyway, but at least we'll see what happens. Plus, this wood is wet, so maybe as it seasons, maybe next year I'll be able to move it around easier. Moment of truth. Oh, barely. And I can't roll it back. All right. Well, that's okay. Well, this bladder's pretty thin. I'm thinking, can we cut it with just a razor knife? So it seems like I should be able to cut right along here, diagonal, and across the other side, and that'll give me the top I need. I've got this rusty old knife, so I don't know if this is going to be the best thing to use. Let's just see if we can poke through that. This is probably the thickest part here. All right. Not really going the way I thought it would. How about a jigsaw with a clean cut blade? Oh yeah, that's the ticket. It's a little awkward. Wait a minute. Oh, come on. Well, that's cool, but how do you keep it on there? Guess we'll have to drill some holes in it and put some zip ties, because otherwise it wants to slide right off. That's pretty cool though. And I can just feed a zip tie through here. Well, I am really happy with the way that turned out. I'm looking forward to making some more of these things. And I'd love to hear from you whether you use these IBC totes, if you do it in a different way, or if you have a better solution. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not yet subscribed to the channel, I invite you to join us. Thanks for being here, and I look forward to seeing you next time.